So, Happy New Year to everyone and all you tarot lovers out there. So, we're going to start the new year in a slightly different way. We're going to continue with these one card readings every day, but there's a certain dynamic which I want to have a little bit of fun with in the first 12 days of this year. So, um, there's many different ways of looking at this, but there's obviously a very strong beginning and an energy of starting of something new and a fresh new year in 2021. And so the collective consciousness is very much in this energy of new beginnings. And so what has been attributed in the past is this energy of 12 days of the first 12 days of the year, representing the energy or maybe a predictive nature to what will happen and what is being shared and experienced inside of the 12 months of the upcoming year. This is something that I've looked at just a little bit personally over the years, but I never really got as really properly deeply focused on it, and I'd like to just make a little experiment and have fun with it and make our daily readings focused on each, at least for these 12 first days, focusing on the energy that each month is going to bring up for us, as well as the card of the day, because I think they're both valid. So we can look at them as a card of the day, as well as the energy of what will be held in each of these months. So today we're looking at January, and look at the card that I popped up. The King of Cups reversed. So this king, I will put him over here. This king is the masculine ruler of a very feminine kingdom of cups and water and the subconscious and the emotions. And so I would say this king seems like the rarest of kings for me, because he has this mastery of his emotions, and he, not in a very cold, dominant way, but in a very deep, sensitive way. And he's very much that guy who has overcome any fears of expressing his feelings. He's that energy inside of us that is very outward going and expressive and creative as far as his emotional states of mind and his emotional states of being are. So this is why I say he's a little bit rare. I would say this energy of this man is more present in women than it is in men. I would say it's rarer in men more than anything else, because we have this social dogma that we're not supposed to express ourselves emotionally, or if we do, we have to do it in a very controlled way. And emotions are bad because they can make us erratic and make us do stupid things and cause us chaos in our lives and really upset our natural status quo. And our parents, when we were kids, they couldn't really deal very well with the 2-year-old who's having a emotional breakdown as he's experiencing fear and disappointment and being let down for the first time. And we were taught that tantrums aren't good. We were taught that strong emotions aren't good. We were taught that you can be happy, but you can't be sad too much. Don't cry so hard. And this we grew up with this energy a little bit, and our parents didn't know how to deal with it. So we were told to repress some of this energy in different ways. This is the normal conditioning that we all have. And then as we grew older, especially as a man, we were told, suck it up. You're supposed to be a man. You're not supposed to be emotional and sensitive. And and that's more for that's more for a feminine energy. It's not more for the masculine energy inside of us. And so we try to be emotionally in control, and we did that by jumping into our intellect, and we repressed and suppressed a lot of our feelings in the process. So this king reflects the mature man that's come up with a lot of repressed and suppressed emotional being. So when I first drew this card, I go, wow, that's that's a bit of a negative card for January. What's that going to mean? So this is a card that's going to be for me. If you have tarot cards, draw a card yourself and have a look at those meanings for you if you feel like it, and draw a card for each 12 days of this year. So when I was looking at this relates to me. And if you don't have a tarot deck, then yeah, you follow me in my journey, and hopefully you can make it a little bit of yours as well. So I was looking at this card and I was thinking, wow, this is not a very positive card. I mean, I've got to look at the shadow of the King of Cups inside of me, and I sat there and I realized, oh my God, I am the King of Cups. I am this guy who has these suppressed emotions since he was a kid, and yeah, while I have a strong intellect and I've always relied upon that, and then when I jumped into the spiritual path, I thought, oh yes, I relate to all the wands, and I'm the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. And then I realized I'm more the Knight of Cups than anything else. I have more emotional stories going on than anything else, and life has just pushed me to experience strong emotional had to have strong emotional experience and to go deeper into my feelings more than anything else. And if anything, that has been a healing journey for me. The journey into the reversed King of Cups is definitely where most of my healing has taken place, I believe. Because it's inside of our emotions that that we hold a key to really strong powers of creativity and manifestation that if we don't dive into, we'll be ignoring part of our true potential. And I can say I've done this a lot. So the King of Cups is in the suit of the pendulum swinging from side to side, where the emotions are one moment like this, and then the other moment like this, and then they're like this and this. If we put the brakes on, if we say no to a negative emotion because it's uncomfortable, because we are not happy with it, because we were taught, we shouldn't be that emotional, if we say no to that pendulum swing on one side, then it only swings back to the same degree on the other side, on the positive side. So the degree of pain that we are able to feel is the degree of love and joy we are able to feel. The amount of sadness we can cope with is the degree of self-love that we are able to experience. And this self-acceptance of our darker shadow nature and this shadow nature of the King of Cups is key to finding real love and real self-love and real joy in this world. And we will always be ticking back and forth, going to and fro between these emotional scales. And the king of all the people is the one who can deal with it. He can handle it. And I've seen over the years, that this is the king. This king, when he's upright, is the guy who's able to hold space for that feminine self, that emotional self, to come up and go crazy and wild and experience all the amazingness of our emotions. He's the one who can hold space for that erratic queen so that she can feel safe and just melt into her emotional states and be herself inside of ourselves. When he's upside down, he's not always very good at holding space this way, and he'll go backwards and forwards, and he might still repress some of his emotions. And this is not where we're going to find our healing. He's going to have mood swings, and he's going to he's going to fall into the traps of shame and guilt and fear and blame. He's going to throw out some of that blame out onto the world, and he can be a little bit of a manipulator, and he can, emotionally blackmail people, and he can, try to coerce with his ability to manage and manipulate emotions. He can coerce people into doing things that maybe they don't want to do. He coerces himself in his own lack of self-honesty to do things that he doesn't want to do, because he is detached from and not really honest with his own true feelings. And so he lacks intuition because of this. And he'll lose his empathetic abilities and his sensitivity to the world. He can be oversensitive to the world. He can, you know, he can take on too much of other people's stories and then forget where he actually sits in his own emotional body. He can lose his center. He doesn't have great boundaries, and he doesn't know how to place them. And for that reason, he'll also, you know, he'll also encourage other people around him, either subconsciously or consciously, to lose their boundaries too, and can create codependent relationships where there is not this sense of self that's strong enough to stand up and experience a strong degree of self-love. This guy needs therapy. Oh, I need some therapy this month. That'll be good. This guy is The guy is potentially amazingly emotionally mature, and yet he has not fulfilled his potential because there is a suppression of his emotional states. There's a suppression and a fear of really feeling deeply, feeling the pain, maybe the trauma, and maybe some of the darker emotions that are key in order for him to really step into his power and to be able to navigate the wild seas around him and to be able to manage the chaotic world that he might also feel on the inside. If you have a look at this guy, he's the only one of the Court of Cups that actually isn't looking at his cup. Why? Because he's a little bit afraid. He's like, yeah, I know it's there, but yeah, and he's got a bit of that energy to it. But at the same time, the male nature is this outward expression. So for me, this is part of what I'm going to be doing, is sharing from an honest, vulnerable level my emotions, because this is the key to his healing, is to outwardly express his truth and to share his vulnerability, and where he may have been buying into a social fear of no, we're not supposed to be vulnerable and share in public. This is a person that wears his heart on his sleeve naturally, and that's where his real strength is. Self-love to you all this January, and may we learn to express and share our vulnerability with complete courage and trust, and in our safety as human beings, and the love that we can share with each other. Amen.